Hello and welcome here to Charlotte, the Charlotte Motor Speedway for Quantum Continues race number 5 of the season. As apologies for the technical difficulties as we started tonight, but we've fortunately been able to get into the session. But we're currently trying to work on taking our tickers, so currently we'll not have that for the time being. We're currently doing that as we speak. So, but currently so far these drivers running as tonight's 180 laps here tonight with Levi doing the real race. And here tonight for 180 laps, just under 3 miles. Derek Riley was able to take the pole, currently running in 4th right now, as he is running in that 4th place position. Right now, our race leader is the 2 machine currently. Right now, off of turn number 2, is Joshua Smith, our race leader right now. Joshua Smith leading by a pretty big margin over the rest of the field currently. He's pulled away from this last restart as right now currently after about lap 5 to 10. Lap 5 so far. Right now, Joshua Schmitz is still your race leader, but sitting back in seconds at 48, and then 11 Davis Brandon Winger working the inside lane to the 48 machine. As Shifted Besgrove sitting there in second, side by side with Brandon Van Wingert, and these two battling side by side for second. Wingert now clears into turn number 1. Down into turn number 1 and 2. Wingert sitting in second. Besgrove sitting in third. We have Grady Kleishouse sitting there right there in that 4th place position right now. They're side by side back about 10th right now between Ray Hamilton and the 17 of Derek Riley. Derek Riley starting to fall back a little bit after qualifying on the pole. trying to work on our getting back to functioning. Currently, still have Joshua Smith just dominating the field right now. As Brady Van Wingert in second, Cuxhausen in third, Dorian Hamilton in fourth, Pierre Crowley in fifth. So Dorsey sitting there at sixth right now. Should the best road falling back to about seventh. Right now, we're currently working lap number 30 of the night so far. Now working lap number 30 of the night. So side by side back here with Trenton Besgrove and Calvin Smith. Calvin Smith on the inside of Trenton Besgrove. Down to turn number 3, going to slide up in front of Besgrove. Besgrove also showing like not much longer ago, piling up for seconds. Joshua Smith still leading the field currently right now. He is out in the lead by a really big margin over the rest of the field, as he's about a whole half straightaway ahead of Brady Van Wingert for second. He's really putting in a very dominant performance so far here early in this one. profile throughout the rest of the field. No really battle is happening out on the racetrack so far. Do you have a few battles coming around here? Back for about 4th right now. It's Cameron Gilmore trying to work around Barry Garland. Cameron Gilmore having a really phenomenal start to the season so far. As tonight, he's race 5 tonight with the most wins of the season at 3. So he's won 3 over 4 races so far, and the other race he did not win was New Hampshire, and he did not even start that race. So which goes to show maybe Cameron Gilmore maybe could have won New Hampshire if he did race it. You never know, but so far, 3 out of 4 for Cameron Gilmore. Now Derek Riley fighting back to the inside, trying to take this 5th place spot away. Running on the bottom of the outside lane. His offensive number 2 down. The back of the Calvin Smith goes, jumps down the inside lane. Clear Calvin Smith for that position. Calvin Gilmore now holds on to that top 5 spot, looking like he's going to have a pretty solid tonight as well. Trying to work his way up through the field a little bit. Did not get the qualifying he hoped for. Joshua Schmitz extending his lead so far tonight as he is currently still the race leader. Actually, no, Joshua Schmitz down pit road, so you know, we're kind of in the middle of pit cycles here, lap number 44 of the night. So middle of pit cycles here early on is now we're in that kind of that first part of the run, first pit stop of the night. There's Kyle Schmitz currently running 24th of the night so far, but Joshua Schmitz now just going out of pit road. So watch that line there. That could be a penalty. Keep an eye on that. But apologies for the lack of graphics tonight so far as well. Still trying to work on the mix. Currently, ATVO decided to stop working conveniently right before we started. So currently, Joshua Schmidt's first driver down pit road. There's Brady Van Wingert. He was opening second at the time of pitting. Now Wingert coming off the pit road. Going to be behind him a little bit, but he also got up a little bit above the blue line there. That might be a unsafe pit exit as well. You see here comes Jason Bottoms now. Jason Bottoms also just pitted. And we have a caution out on the racetrack. And a caution, trying to find out who that was. There was someone maybe coming off a pit road. Oh no, there it was right there. It was the 48 of Trenton Besgrove. Let's take a look at what happened here. And it was going off the pit road, just overdrove the exit, just snapped back up the racetrack. And that brings out the caution, caution here tonight. This, I believe that was our second caution of the night. But under yellow, that right in the middle of pit cycles, so that's going to shake up a lot of different strategies here. here to Charlotte as finally she's been able to get her tickers back up and working. Apologies for all the delays for her first 56 laps of the night. But Cameron Gilmore currently our race leader by about 2/10 of a second over Calvin Smith, as we did have that caution that shook up a lot of different strategies there. Brandon Wingren able to claw his way back up to 7 so far, as he was battling with Joshua Schmitz for the race lead, as also in 6th. So they both were able to get back on the lead laps, but they were only running 6th and 7th on the racetrack right now. But Cameron Gilmore running the race lead by about half a second over Calvin Smith. Rusty Rafferty sitting there in 3rd. Robert Woble runs in 4th. David Wells, Joshua Schmitz, Brandon Wingren, Scott Herbert, Dan Stockero, Phil Bly rounds at the top 10. Dan Perone, Austin Orr, Daniel Jackson, Brandon Newton, Derek Riley, Jason Bottoms, Brandon Cushausen and Tori Hamilton round at the top 20. Cody Dorsey, Steve Corner, Tristan Besgrove, and Kyle Schmitz round out the rest of the field. 24 car field here tonight so far, as there's our current rundown. As it was Derek Riley who was able to take the pole away earlier tonight, as currently running back a little bit farther back through the field. He's now running in 13th. Heated battle here with Daniel Jackson, driver Brandon Newton sitting right behind him as well. He's going to suck on the high lane here with Derek Riley. So we're going to see side by side down the back straightaway, just in front of them though. Austin Orr's looking inside of Scott Herbert for that position. As down Herbert will fall behind Austin Orr as he tries to throw the slider, but Derek Riley also trying to work the very outside, right up against that outside wall. Trying to make the move work, but not able to make it happen. As Derek Riley still kind of mired back in traffic right now. Austin Orr sitting up in 11th so far. Talking about him just a little bit earlier. He's kind of mired in the back of the traffic a little bit, just only about 5th. That caution helps him shoot his way up to the race lead, and now Cameron Gilmore holds the lead over Calvin Smith. Is now Cameron Gilmore looking to take his 4th win on the season, as he's been 100% of the races he has started. So Gilmore looking strong so far to start this season. How much longer, how well he can hold on tonight. There's currently still 120 laps to go before this one's over. So very long way left into this one. It's sort of our longest race of the season. But down the back straightaway, Cameron Gilmore sitting in the race lead by just about half a second. But Calvin Smith not really able to do much right now. Just kind of stuck in the dirty air of Cameron. We have a lot of battling back towards the middle of the pack here, as I mentioned with Derek Riley. Just this entire mid-pack battle. It's just everyone's double file pretty much throughout the entirety of mid-pack at 12th on back here. Austin was side by side with Brandon Newton as Brandon Newton works the outside lane. He goes side by side with Norris through 1 and 2. Newton has the 52 of Cole Lewis on his outside, trying to push him down the straightaway, but a little bit farther back. But now Newton will clear in front of Austin Norris for that position. Cole Lewis sits right behind, sits side by side here with Austin Norris. Cody Bird sits right behind him, and I go 3 wide as Austin Norris gets split through the middle. As Derek Riley fighting his way on the bottom will take advantage. He's still not able to clear Cole Lewis on the bottom though. Jason Bonner's trying to find his way through as well. These drivers battling 3 wide from the middle of the back here for about a 12th place position. As Austin Norris will finally slide his way up in the line. Line there on the outside lane. Still Cole Lewis and Derek Riley battling for that 13th place position. They stay side by side behind him as well. Brandon Newton is going to try to take that spot away from Dan Stockero. As Stockero is going to fall a little bit. He almost has a little bit of contact with Cole Lewis out of the corner. Cole Lewis able to slot back in line, but Stucker starting to struggle now. Looks like he's a little bit over tires. Getting the outside wall, he just slide back in front of Cody Pruitt here. Not going to be able to do it. He is just crawling straight back for Dan Stacchero. So it looks like he has a little bit of damage as well. So I wonder if maybe he got a little bit tight off the corner, right on the wall. Maybe he was also no damage. Rally now, he's going to clear up in front of Brand New, so now he works back up to 11, so now he's going to try to make some time back up, as he did qualify on pole. So hopefully to try and work his way back up to the race lead. We'll see how he's still got a long way to go, 10 seconds. Whoever needs some help in this race. Trying to drive back up to the race lead. Brand New still under attack here from Jason Bottoms. Second now, the battle for second is Rusty Rafferty works at the inside of Calvin Smith. This is going to allow Cameron Gilmore to kind of pull away a little bit. But side by side for the race lead, for that second place finish, second place position. Apologies. Calvin Smith go up to the outside wall. Rusty Rafferty tries to grab the blue line down on the bottom of the racetrack. Much of an advantage right now. Rusty Rafferty just able to hold the bottom a little bit, maintain a little bit more speed throughout the corner. Calvin Smith on the outside just trying to keep the speed off the corner. Just taking the longer distance around. Neither they're able to get an advantage on each other. Calvin Smith sitting there in second, almost able to clear, and he does. He'll clear for second, so he holds on to that second place spot for now to Rusty Rafferty, but now Rusty Rafferty fights back on the inside here through turn 3 and 4. As Rafferty will slide up and try and slide up in front of Calvin Smith into turn number 1, and he will do it. So Rusty Rafferty now moves into second, but now Kenny Shuttledore is kind of fend off Calvin Smith again. But Calvin Smith's going to fight back for the top lane once again. They're still side by side here for the second place position. They've been side by side for about 5 laps. No one really able to get much of an advantage so far. Rafferty into second now. As last season, he had a pretty strong run here at Charlotte. Looking to kind of continue that. far. Cameron Gilmore still out in the race lead, but Rusty Rafferty last few laps, he's been chasing him down, trying to take this spot away. Rusty Rafferty closing the gap here. Down about 0.2 of a second to Cameron Gilmore. Down to the turn number 3, down to the turn 1 and 2. As Rusty Rafferty looking like he's got some long run pace here to challenge Cameron Gilmore. Looks to the inside of the lead, but down to the turn number 3 and 4, he's going to try and look to the outside lane, try to get some clean air on the nose of that 34 machine. But off the turn number 4, he'll work down the front straightaway, trying to close the gap to the back bumper of Cameron Gilmore, trying to take this race lead away. He's strong for Rusty Rafferty. Now he goes back to the bottom. Cameron Gilmore blocks the top lane. Trying to stop Rusty Rafferty getting around the outside. So it's going to be much harder to pass on the bottom, but Rafferty was able to do it after about five or so laps. He was able to get by Calvin Smith for that second place spot, but he's going to make contact in the 3. Cameron Gilmore will go around, and they will wreck for the race lead, and it will bring out the caution. As Cameron Gilmore gets turned by Rusty Rafferty going into turn 3, battling for the race lead. And that's going to shake up the strategy. That actually gives Calvin Smith the race lead. But Cameron Gilmore trying to get back rolling here. Let's take a look at what happened. There's been a lap before what happened here, but this is coming into turn number 1 and 2 as they battle for the race lead. Rusty Rafferty has a really big run down the front straightaway. Now he goes down to the turn number 1 and 2 here. Cameron Gilmore runs up to the top lane, right up against that outside wall. It's like side by side here, but Rusty Rafferty tries to side draft at the back straightaway. We get right over the quarter panel. Cameron Gilmore entering the corner. And just a little bit too much. Looked like a little bit of net code there. So he did have about a little bit of gap between him and Cameron Gilmore. Let's try to get a better angle of that. Down in the turn number 1 and 2, so Gilmore runs the top lane, trying to fend off Rafferty, trying to get a good run off the corner to try and clear him down in the 3. Rusty Rafferty gets enough, just side drafts him back just a little bit, entering the corner. Yeah, just a little bit of net code there, probably a good bit. Really unfortunate for both of those drivers, racing hard for the race lead, just a little bit of net code, and that ends that battle there. So just really unfortunate there, about a half foot of net code, really unfortunate there. So, but that. So that's going to set Cameron Gilmore pretty much all the way to the back of the field. He's going to have to go all the way, work his way from the tail end of the field, and especially with this race car traffic, it's just everything in this race in the next gen car. But Derek Riley now back to the race lead. He does have the first pit stall, but we'll see who gets the lead. And it looks like it's going to be Joshua Schmitz off of pit road will take the race lead. So Rusty Rafferty not having a good stop. Calvin Smith as well, so Calvin Smith back in 4th. So Joshua Schmitz will now inherit the race lead once again after that pit cycle. Same with Brandon Van Wingerdon. So those drivers, they just pitted under green, so I guess they have a little bit less fuel to take. The stops are about the same, but just execute pit road a little bit better. Able to take the race lead back. So Calvin Smith now lines up in that 4th place position. Dan Barone will line up in 3rd. Just gonna kind of a run down to the field here. So yeah, we're never really able to get the starting lineup tonight, unfortunately. But it will be Joshua Schmitz, our race leader. Brandon Winter will be second. Dan Barone will be third. Calvin Smith will be fourth. Derek Riley will start in fifth tonight. Daniel, starting fifth, restart fifth here. Daniel Jackson in sixth. Brandon Cuxhouse in seventh. Cody Dorsey will restart eighth. Jason Bottoms will restart ninth here. And Austin Lawrence will restart in that 10th place spot as she's a little bit farther back here. She's going to leave David Wells restarts in 10th. Austin Lawrence will restart in 11th. And then we'll go back to Joel Lewis for 12th. Cody Pruitt in 13th. Dorian Hamilton in 14th. Brandon Newton will restart in 15th. Cameron Gilmore will restart back at 16th as he just got wrecked for the race lead, so we'll see how well he can work his way back up the field. Stephen Horner will restart 17th. Stint Stock Arrow will restart 18th. And Robert Rowe will restart 19th. 20th, Rusty Rafferty. Scott Kerber in 21st. Dakota Bly 22nd. 23rd, it will be Trenton Besgrove as he's one lap down. And Kyle Schmitz 15 laps down tonight. He's pulled off the racetrack tonight. He'll finish 24th here tonight. But now, as we're back to Joshua Schmitz as the TV cameras decided not to work anymore. But Joshua Schmitz will restart for the race lead. He will hit the gas pedal and he will get way out in front already by about 0.3 of a second compared to the rest of the field. As Dan Barone with a really good launch as well as he launches back up into second. Brandon Winter is going to try and fight for third now as he's got Calvin Smith to his inside, but Dan Barone with a really good run off turn 2. That takes him to the inside of Joshua Schmitz into turn number 3. Not going to be able to do it though. Calvin Smith side by side with Winter in here for second. For that third place spot. Now they're looking like they're going to try and split Dan Barone off the corner. Wingard gets under the outside wall. Don't worry if that's a little bit too much damage. It had got a little bit of damage there. He holds on to it. Dan Barone now fights back to the bottom, side by side with the race lead of Joshua. Just not enough though. He still fights on the bottom, but they're still fighting for third now as Calvin Smith to the bottom of the racetrack, side by side here with Brandon Van Wingerden. Not able to do much so far, but Wingerden able to take the outside lane to his advantage. He's trying to get to the outside of Dan Barone, but that outside lane will eat up his tires, so he's got to be careful. Doesn't want to be up there for too long. He wants to try and slot back in line, try to get relaxed here, get settled into the long run. That's going to be the way to go throughout this race, but now Brandon Van Wingerden, he will clear for second. Now Dan Barone will attack for Calvin Smith. And Derek Riley working his way back over the top 5. He can start him a pole here tonight. He tries to get the outside lane along with Calvin Smith in Brandon Van Wingerden. But Dan Barone fights back on the bottom. Rips that outside wall, right up against the outside wall there. Finding all that speed he can. Down back straight away. In turn number 3, Calvin Smith go try and stick up to the outside lane. Not able to get there so far. Running in second, he just wraps that blue-white line here on the bottom. Joshua Smith still clear race lead, but here comes Calvin Smith. He was battling up the race lead earlier at the end of that last run. Now he's going to try and take that second place spot away from Brandon Van Wingerden. Trying to fight on the bottom. Wingerden still fights on the outside lane for that second place position. Still holding strong, and Wingerden will hold on to that second place spot. Brandon Van Wingerden, he's closing the gap to Joshua Schmitz. Not able to do much right now. He's just trying to fight his way through the dirty air. lead currently, but he's trying to hold off. Trying to hold off Brandon Van Winkert and Calvin Smith, as they are both hunting down his back bumpers. And actually David Wells just out in front of him. It's going to be a lap track. Play a little bit of back to him now. Last time driving halfway through tonight. So here in this one, powers on through. You're going to try and take the spot away from Joshua Schmitz. Not going to do it though. Schmitz with a run of the high lane, able to clear down in the turn number 3. That shows you how dominant that outside lane is. But now Brandon Van Winkert going to get the outside wall, trying to run it. Can't do it though, as now he's going to try to the back bumper. Joshua Schmitz once again going to try and find his way by. We'll see if he dives back to the bottom here in 1 and 2. They'll stay on the top lane, going to get to the wall again as pushing that outside wall as much as they can. You gotta be careful, you don't want to hit it too much. You can lose a lot, scrub a lot of speed. You don't want to do that. Also, could get stuck in it. It'll cost you a lot of time. Joshua Smith drives it deep into 3. He's gonna overdrive the corner, right up against that outside wall. That's gonna cost him a lot of quarter exit speed, but he's gonna be able to make it work. Stay just in front of Brandon Van Winkert as he's got, I believe, he just drove into the corner a little bit, kind of like normal, but then it got caught off guard by the dirty air of Black Machine and David Wells there. And now they have to go around the 22 and David Wells around the outside. They will clear them there, clear David Wells there. Brandon Van Winkert not able to do much. But he's still trying to fight back on the bottom, trying to take this lead away from Joshua Schmitz. Joshua Schmitz holds the lead with Brandon Van Winkert and gets up into the outside wall a little bit there, off into turn number 3. Now he's under attack from Calvin Smith. So now that battle for the race lead out goes back to the battle for second. As Joshua Schmitz able to pull away by a couple tenths of a second here. Calvin Smith not able to do much on the bottom. Cameron Gilmore, though, what a drive back on this restart. He's worked his way all the way back up to 6th. Now he's working the inside of Cameron Gilmore. Cody Dorsey here for Smith. As Cameron Gilmore fights on the bottom. Let's just say side by side into turn number 1. And Gilmore on the bottom. Dorsey up on the top lane. Goes side by side down the back straightaway. Not able to do it. Dorsey will still clear, still hold out in front of Cameron Gilmore. But side by side now for second. Side by side for that 5th place spot. Cameron Gilmore down to the 1. It looks like he's going to be able to make the move here and clear in front of Dorsey. So Cameron Gilmore will take that 5th place spot away. See if Dorsey tries to fight back on the bottom. As he will, though, he will down to the turn number 3. Just behind these drivers, Brady Coxhouse, and also trying to get by Dan Barone. Cody Dorsey fights back on the bottom. Not able to make it work. Cameron Gilmore will clear for that position. Now Brandon Cuxhausen and Dan Barone battling for 7th. As Barone fighting back on the outside lane as he came into pit road there for that last stop in 3rd. He's falling back a little bit off this restart, falling back to 7th. Now he's under attack to fall back to 8th here. As Brandon Cuxhausen tries to take the spot away. Brandon Cuxhausen, he will take the spot away from Dan. Now Rusty Rafferty. He's also working his way back up from that last incident, last caution. Sitting back in 9th now as he just got by Daniel Jackson. Cole Lewis can flip it outside wall just behind him though. Allows Laurie Hamilton to go to the inside. as they say, side by side down the front straightaway into turn number 1. There are 8 laps to go here in tonight's race. Tonight, these drivers race in honor of Levi Newton here tonight. Levi Newton Memorial Race. This is Ray Newton's son. He passed away from rare brain cancer this past week. And unfortunate for Brandon Newton and his family. And here at LRB, we send our prayers to him and his family. This tragic loss. It's all these drivers racing in his honor here tonight. Jordan will try and drive his way back up into that race lead. Right against that outside wall, trying to find the speed. Kind of driving like Homestead. Homestead really find a lot of speed right up against that outside wall. You kind of rim ride around the outside. Just put your car as close as you can to the outside wall. Try and find as much as possible. Seems like how these drivers are driving it right now. Stay a little bit farther off of it though. It is bumpy up there here at Charlotte, right up against that outside wall. So don't want to get up too far up there. Kind of see right up against that outside wall. You kind of see that seam of the racetrack right up against that outside wall. Up above that seam is kind of a little bumpy. Makes it also not very used very much. So just makes it really tough to kind of run up right up against that outside wall. So we're gonna run about half a car width, half a car off the wall. Seems to be the most speed as that here against Charlotte. Sometimes you'll see some drivers right up against it, trying to find some speed up there. But if you just make one slight mistake, you'll just find yourself on the outside wall. Just be very precise when you're on that outside wall. Wayne Gordon will stay up on the outside. Not able to make it happen though. It's got Calvin Smith now trying to fight back from the bottom for that second place spot. Also, these drivers about 27 laps into this run tonight so far, into this run. So that means the fuel window tonight is about 40 laps on fuel, so these drivers have to put about 10 to 15 in the next 10 to 15 laps. Takes to the outside wall, not able to just find the speed up there, just overdriving just a little bit. Yeah, a good battle back here just outside the top 5. As Derek Riley sitting in 5th right now as he's driving his way, as he's now also lost the spot to Cameron Gilmore, as Gilmore tries to drive back over to the race lead. Everyone tries to work around the lap machine of David Wells. As Rusty Rafferty also trying to work his way back up to the field as he was battling for the race lead. After that last run, in the contact with Cameron Gilmore. Cody Pruitt as Brandon Cuxhausen tries to get the back bumper. Kudoshi trying to find his way around him. Down the back straightaway, not able to do it as he gets to the outside wall. As Rusty Rafferty goes to the outside. He goes side by side here now for that 7th place spot. So Brandon Cuxhausen works his way up to 7th. Now he's got Rusty Rafferty, Cody Pruitt right behind him. Actually, Cody Pruitt. Actually, 2 laps down right now. So Cody Pruitt actually not for position. Rusty Rafferty gets by Brandon Cuxhausen. Now he tries to fight back. Cody Dorsey. Cody Dorsey also trying to get his way by Derek Riley here. Derek Riley's going to fall off late into this run. Having a solid night so far. Bringing to the top 5. Now he's in the third of losing that. Cody Dorsey fights on the inside. Going to try and slide up in front. Tries to wrap the inside lane. Not able to do it though. Just yet. Actually, yes, he does there. He's going to clear up in front of Derek Riley. He'll take that 5th place spot away. Now Riley's just trying to hold on as long as he can here, right until the pit stops. These drivers will have 2 pit stops they have to make on the field. I mean, if you can split this right now, they've restarted with about 100 to go. They could split about every 33, 35 laps or so. I haven't really seen anybody do that yet in this run. So everyone looking to try and stretch it as long as possible. Josh Smith still leads, so he's still got the clean air out in front. Still right behind Derek Riley. Trying to find his way by as Derek Riley's really circling now. Cameron Gilmore just got falling a little bit back to Josh Smith. He really had some good pace moving. He was about 3.5 seconds back not too long ago, but now he's back to about 4.5. So now the speed he wants. But we'll see how he plays his pit strategy correctly. If he can play this strategy correctly, make a lot of time up and try and seal the win away. I mean, he definitely has the speed to do it. He's proven himself multiple times this season. We saw last week at Belle Isle. He had an incident. Around the pit road. He's able to drive back and win on the streets of Detroit last week. We thought it was over for him with about 10 to go. He's able to drive his way back. He was able to come out on top last week. So it's not his first time. He has to come back and make a comeback story. Right back up as he's got 4 seconds back now. There's still a long way to go here in this one. Still over 60 to go, so we can easily make up 4 seconds by just a simple pit road mistake from the race leader, Josh Schmitz. Because really, if Josh Schmitz he's about a second in front of Brandon Winger. So if Schmitz makes mistakes, then he'll gain about 3 seconds to the race leader. So it's gonna be able to gain that time just from a really good pit stop. And you gotta make 2 stops, so. We'll see how well he can work his way up, but Josh Smith's out in front as Brandon Winger actually gets by Brandon Newton as Brandon Newton. Now a lap down. Now it's actually 3 laps down, so night for him so far. Calvin Smith, the city in third, they've really spread out for this top 3, but now Cameron Gilmore, he really drove his way through the field, had to work his way up through the field, and I think he may have angered his tires a little bit throughout that run, as now he's under attack from Cody Dorsey. Shout out Cody Dorsey here, trying to take that spot away from Cameron Gilmore. Now this time by, they're about 40 laps into the run, so I wouldn't be shocked in the next couple of laps these drivers start to kind of flood down pit road. They're side by side here for that 4th place spot. Gilmore tries to fight. If I was Gilmore, you don't want to fight too hard here because you know every 10th is going to matter here if you want to try and get back to the race. So you want to try and hit here. Knowing the undercut is the better option here at Charlotte. So I'm shocked I haven't really seen anyone come down pit road yet. The only driver to come down pit road was Jason Bombs. He pitted 11 laps ago. So he pitted pretty early. So he pitted pretty much after 30 laps into the run, so we'll see. He is 1 lap down. Even on Chase Bottom, see if he makes up the gap. A lot of time doing that. But Cameron Gilmore trying to fight on the outside lane, trying to fight off his 4th place spot. Now, as you'll see, when these drivers pit now, they'll have their name will pop up on the right side of the screen, but a little bit caught there with Dorsey and Gilmore, as Gilmore's going to lose a little bit of time, and now he's going to lose a lot of time. He's going to fall behind Brady Cuxhausen. Now he's going to have Dorian Hamilton working the inside now, and that's going to slow everybody down. Cameron Gilmore, unfortunate there. That's going to cost him a lot of time. I'm shocked no one else has pitted, but Robert Riddle down pit road. Now Dan Burrow, now Daniel Jackson. So now we're having some of the drivers start to flood down pit road. So you'll see when they come down pit road on the right, the graphic on the right side of the screen. You'll see the name pop up. Here comes Joshua Schmitz. He'll come down pit road here. So everyone going to flood pit road here with 58 to go. So no one making any different strategy calls of undercutting or overcutting. Pretty much everyone down on the same 2 laps. Cody Dorsey will take the race lead as he will take a little bit of an overcut, but everyone else down pit road all at the same lap. That's pretty much the entire field. As you see on our ticker, everyone's on pit road. No, not a single person is off pit road right now. Looks like a kind of a caution, yellow flag pit stops the way everyone's on pit road, but here comes Cody Dorsey. He'll come down pit road. He's got Dorian Hamilton right behind him as well. So it's just Stephen Horner yet to make his stop. So everyone has made their stop here in the first 2 laps here. So a very short pit cycle for the rest of these for this field. Oh, but Joshua Schmitz spins on pit exit. Joshua Schmitz will spin on pit exit. That will bring out the caution. That will bring out the caution. As a big mistake for Joshua Schmitz from the race lead. That's going to shake up the strategy here. Stephen Horner takes the race lead. As everyone else will still be on the lead lap. As that's going to shake up a lot of different strategies here. Let's take a look at what happened. Looks like he may have just got over that bump off of pit exit. There is a kind of a bump right here off of pit exit. That actually cars do not like to take, and it's right there, right where that blue line starts. And that's exactly what happened. He just drove over that bump, didn't expect it, just spun it back up the racetrack. That's actually Cameron Gilmore. We did not get a penalty for that one, so usually that is a penalty, but I wonder if you may have got that cleared, as it would have been an unsafe pit exit. Cameron Gilmore, but I believe that that has been cleared of him, so doesn't have to worry about that penalty for Cameron Gilmore. But Stephen Horner is the race leader after all of that. He was much farther back. He was locked down. But that does help him. His strategy is able to stay out longer, and now he gets back on the lead lap, so he has to drive his way back through the field. Cody Dorsey and Dorian Hamilton, they will be able to cycle into the race lead now, as they were able to get out in front of everybody else. But everybody else on the lead lap, just freshly off the pit road. As you have a mix of different strategies, some drivers coming down again to top it off. Top off on fuel. You take tires again. So that Cody Dorsey will cycle back to the race lead. So Gardnercy will be our race leader, so really perfectly timed pit stop for Gardnercy and Jordan Hamilton. They just got on pit road. The caution flies pretty much instantly. So it's the best opportunity to get it, as those two will take the race lead. As unfortunate for Dan Stockero, as he's not able to get the lap back. Actually, it looks like we have kind of a weird scoring area. Actually, yes. So now it's telling everybody to pass the pace car. So this usually happens when we get a yellow in the mix of pit cycles. So iRacing scoring is messed up. So these drivers they're gonna have to figure this out a little bit. Race control as well. So we'll see how they figure this out. I believe everyone will have to pass the pace car, and we'll either need their penalties clear, as they will delay the green here. Gardnercy will still be the race leader, but everyone will just have to cycle back around, and they will delay the green. That will still put Dan Stockero in the position in the middle of the pack, as he is stuck one lap down. So we'll see how the race control kind of handles this. As pit stop, a caution coming out in the middle of pit stops really shake up a lot of the different strategies here. So let's see, as they're going to line back to the pace car. There are a few Jason Bottoms, Brandon Newton stuck behind, Dan Barone as well. They all got to get past here. So now scoring's messed up a little bit here. We'll see if we go green this time, but I believe we're not. They might delay the green again. There's the Kuttelbike currently leads the field behind the pace car. But he is one lap down. We're still getting the scoring currently worked out right now. So race control kind of working this out a little bit. Cody Dorsey is our race leader. while scoring continues to get ordered out a little bit, there's had these scoring issues as we did have a yellow pop up between yellow between the pit cycles, and that iRacing scoring typically does not handle that very well. So it traps some lap cars in the middle of the pack, and also it traps some lap cars a lap down. It should be trapped a lap down. It traps some lead lap cars, some lap cars that should be a lead lap also a lap down. So it's kind of just mixed up a little bit. Race control currently still trying to figure this out here with about 50 to go. We'll see this. This is currently still staying single file currently right now. As really the best bet here is to kind of just have everyone double up, have the lap cars, whatever it drops to the back. If once you get everybody, it should be a lap down, back up to their respective positions. I believe that's what they're doing now. They're chasing the bottom up front. I think they're trying to kind of fix up the scoring. They're actually chasing bottom should be about 10th right now, I believe, since he stayed out. They're trying to get the drivers that stayed out, and we're already pitted back up to the front. As Cody Dorsey, Dorian Hamilton, they were up front. It looks like there's Stock Area will hop back, so everyone else will double up behind them. David Wells, though, is a lap down. He's in the middle of this pack here, so I'm not sure, but it looks like they're doubling up. They're still getting it sorted out here. Currently under some scoring problems. After that caution coming out in the middle of the... So caution coming out in the middle of the pit cycles there. So what the scoring will be, so it will be Cody Dorsey and Dorian Hamilton. They will be the front row on this restart. It looks like it's going to be Brandon Van Wingert, Jason Bottoms third and fourth. So Jason Bottoms, he did get his lap back throughout that pit cycle. So he did get his lap back before that caution came out. Calvin Smith looks like he'll line back up in fifth. It'll be Brandon Cuxhausen lining back up in sixth, running sixth currently. But David Wells kind of playing sixth in that restart there. So we'll see if they kind of cycle him out. Darren Stockero, he did cycle just towards the back as he was kind of in the middle of this as well. So yeah, there goes David Wells. He'll fall into the back here as he was going to get out of the way up on the top lane. Which will put Brandon Cuxhausen into sixth. It's actually also there as well. So Jason Bottoms will line back in sixth. So these drivers, we still don't know what the scoring is. So we're just going to currently try to fix it up right now. Usually this is kind of how the scoring handles this, but there goes David Wells and Brandon Newton back. So that takes all the lap cars out of the question here. So they just line up the way they are, and they will double back up, and we'll get back racing here in just one moment. Okay, we're going green this time as the light's still off on the pace car. So it looks like we got everything sorted out here. So it'll be Cody Dorsey and Dorian Hamilton restart on the front row here with 47 laps to go here from Charlotte. As will be Brandon Van Wingert and Calvin Smith. And Brady Cuxhausen rounds at the top five. A green flag back in there. Cody Dorsey hits the loud pedal, and he's way out in front as the inside lane really stacked up. Brady Cuxhausen really far back as he's going to go all the way back to seventh as the top six easily clear. Everyone gets easily cleared down, but now Dorian Hamilton, he's under attack here from Wingert. Wingert there for second. Now Jason Bottoms fights back to the bottom. He'll stay side by side here. Down the back straightaway into turn number 3. They say side by side. Cody Dorsey, our race leader. Jason Bottoms will try and slot up in front of Dorian Hamilton, and he will. So now Dorian Hamilton will fall back to fourth. Calvin Smith on the bottom. He'll slide him in front of Derek Riley. He'll take that spot away. outside of Dorian Hamilton, not able to do it. As Dorian Hamilton gets to the wall, is Hamilton not able to fight on that outside lane as well as others have been. Got him to make a mistake going into the outside wall. Now he's just going to try and fight back on the bottom. Meanwhile, up front though, Brandon Van Wingert with a run on the high lane, making the speed up there, finding the speed up on the top lane. He's going to try and get to the outside of Cody Dorsey here. He's going to try and take this lead back. Calvin Smith also ripping that outside wall, gets into it as well in 3 and 4. But now, Brandon Van Wingert with a good run into turn number 1. He'll stay up to the outside wall, going to scrape the wall again. As Dorsey fights on the bottom, just managing his speed on the inside lane. Brandon Van Wingert with the speed on the top lane. He's got an opportunity to make a move into 3. He will, down in the turn number 3. Wingert's going to drive into the bottom of the racetrack to get tight through the center of the corner. He slide up to doesn't want to make contact with Cody Dorsey. He'll stay side by side. Battle for the lead down the front straightaway. 42 laps to go. He's used to battle too much. Jason Bottles able to close the gap back in. He's now waiting in the wings, waiting for a mistake to happen. Wingard fights on the bottom. Dorsey will stay fighting on the top lane. Dorsey was their only other winner so far this season, other than Cameron Gilmore. He's looking to make it number 2 of the season. Brandon Van Wingert looking for his first as he's looking to the top lane. Sticks it right up to the outside wall. Off of turn number 4, he'll stay in. Not able to make a ground up though, as Cody Dorsey will hold the race lead by about a couple tenths of a second. But meanwhile, just a few spots back, Rusty Rafferty, he's fought his way back over to the top 5. He's now fighting to the inside of Calvin Smith for that 4th place position. Cody Dorsey though now under attack again. Brandon Van Wingert with a drive around the outside. Is going to be clear into 3. Yes, he will. As Brandon Van Wingert to the lead here from Charlotte with 41 to go. As Cody Dorsey will try and fight back. He has a little bit of 1 lap fresher tires, but I believe they both pitted pretty much at the same time. It's a complete mix of different strategies as the yellow came out in the middle of pit cycles. But Rusty Rafferty, he is showing his speed here as he is now closing the gap drastically on these race leaders. He's now trying to get by Jason Bottoms, gets to the outside pretty easily off of turn number 2. Just try and drive through turn 3. Zaz to clean air, so Dorsey runs to the bottom. So Rusty Rafferty will clear for 3rd, and he's got the speed. He's moving here late in this one. Well, these drivers, though, they restarted with over 45 to go, so they will have to make 1 more green flag stop. So still, they have to master pit road 1 more time here tonight before this is over. Rusty Rafferty driving deep in the 3 and 4, showing great speed right now. He's going to try and get around the outside of Cody Dorsey for that 2nd place spot. The 34, Rusty Rafferty making tons of speed on the top lane. Making it happen, not able to do it though. Stays behind Cody Dorsey, but now he's going to try and change it back up to the inside as he tried to fight on the outside, trying to get the preferred lane up there, but not able to do it. Now he fights back on the bottom. He's going to make it work. He's going to slide up in front of Cody Dorsey for 2nd off of turn 4. Now he sets his sights on the race lead of Brandon Van Wingert, and he's got a good run once again. Rusty Rafferty showing great speed. We have a caution out on the racetrack. Looks like Austin Norris around on the front straight. Another car around. Dan Stockero around. Dakota Bly as well. Looks like he had a pretty big incident off of turn number 4. 3, 4, 5 cars involved, I believe. Brandon Newton also involved as well. And one other driver just out in front, I believe maybe David Wells. Another driver, Stephen Horner, I believe it was. So it looks like, let's take a look at what happened there. Started with the wreck, so it started with Dan Stockero and Austin Norris. Dakota Bly trying to avoid it. Oh, gets tagged by Brandon Newton. So Brandon Newton gets a piece of that as well. So let's see. So Brandon Newton gets hit by Dan Stockero, and then he has no control of the steering at this point. His right front toe link is destroyed, and he goes straight up into Dakota Bly. Dakota Bly nowhere to go there. So that started with Austin Norris. Let's take a look at how that started here. So started off with turn number 4. Robert Whipple side by side with Austin Norris. So everyone's just fighting for everything to get here in mid-pack, in the middle of the pack. As Whipple got to the inside, made contact with Norris, and Norris gets spun, pretty much drifts the corner, gets spun back up the racetrack into the outside wall, collects Dan Stockero, and that collects Brandon Newton and Dakota Bly. So that 4-car incident, now that brings up the yellow with under 40 to go, and now that will make it everybody within the fuel window. It's going to be a straight up race to the finish here. No strategy on that. I mean, you could try and take 2 tires here, but I don't think that would be worth it. That could be, actually probably would be worth it here, actually. It's usually 2 tires typically is the fastest way to go. But now Brandon Van Winkler will see if he can hold on to the race lead here off the pit road. He's a perfect pit stop and no mistakes. But Jason Bottoms looks like he's one of the drivers to take 2 tires. Jason Bottoms will get out in front. He'll take the race lead. Actually, no, he didn't even take tires. He just topped it off. He just topped off on fuel. So Jason Bottoms, no tire call there. So we'll see if that works out for him. Jefferson usually is the best option. So Jason Bottoms will take the race lead with no tires. Everyone else will take 4. So Shock no one took 2. Jason Bottoms taking just fuel only, just relying on the track position, which typically is the way to go. Charlotte, though, make a little bit more passes than kind of what we saw on other mile and a halves. So that will put Jason Bottoms in the lead here with 33 to go on this restart. So it will be Jason Bottoms, our race leader. Brandon Van Winkler will line up second. Rusty Rafferty, Cody Dorsey, Derek Riley. We're right in the top 5 here with 33 laps to go. No one's going to have to pit for fuel anymore. We'll see if Bottoms on the older tires. Is the track position going to be worth it? Green flag back in the air. He will launch greatly off the restart. He will easily take the lead by about 4/10 of a second. So a really good launch. But Rusty Rafferty, though, he was showing great speed in that short run there on the last run. He will easily clear for second. Now he's going to try to chase down Jason Bottoms for the race lead. But there, Cameron Gilmore into the outside wall. He's going to do a round off of turn number 2. He'll hold it straight, but he'll spin back down the racetrack. But everyone will stay green as everyone scatters for position around. Cody Pruitt also involved as well, as everyone keeps it straight. We are still green here from Charlotte. But right now, Cody Dorsey falls back to 4th. Brandon Van Winkler in 3rd. Rusty Rafferty runs in 2nd, and Jason Bottoms still holds the race lead. Cody Dorsey, though, under attack from Calvin Smith, as Calvin Smith will go around the outside, and he will take that 4th place spot away. Now Derek Riley going to try and fight back for 5th, but we'll see how well can Jason Bottoms hold off all the older tires. Will the track position mean the most? And it looks like it is so far, about 0.2 of a second. Now Rusty Rafferty has the drop down the run straightaway into turn number 1. We'll try and fight back to the bottom. Goes down the inside lane, going to wrap that white and blue line through 1 and 2, down the back straightaway. will be Rusty Rafferty trying to chase down Jason Bottoms. Both of these drivers looking for the first win on the season. Oh, but Brandon Wingard hard to the wall off of turn 4. He's going to go through the grass and back up the racetrack. And Brandon Wingard, a crucial mistake here late, and that's going to cost him his night. As it looks like he's got heavy wheel damage as he's struggling to try and keep it back up on the race, keep it off the racetrack. As let's take a look at what happened really quickly there. So it looks like he may have just got a little bit tight off of turn number 4 and got to the outside wall. Let's take a look at what happened. Looks like it blinked out a little bit there. Just got tight hard to the outside wall, no doubt. That definitely broke the tire there. It actually just kept him shooting left. So that easily broke the right front, at least bent it, and he's going to come down pit road, and that will be his chances over at the win. As now Rusty Rafferty going to go down the back straightaway. He's got to run down the back straight on the inside of Jason Bottoms, side by side for the lead here with 29 to go here from Charlotte. But Jason Bottoms is going to try a fight on the outside lane. The outside lane's been the way to defend, the way to pass, but he can't do it. Rusty Rafferty will clear for the lead, and now he's going to try and pull away. But what does Calvin Smith? Can he say anything about it? He's closing the gap as well. Or can Jason Bottoms, can he mount an attack back? The Calvin Smith off of turn number 2, down the back straight away. Side by side with Jason Bottoms, he will clear into 3. He's hunting down the back bumper. Rusty Rafferty though. Cody Dorsey also has he wants to say something about it as well. He's trying to close the gap in. He's trying to get to Calvin Smith and Rusty Rafferty as well. They're having great pace. We have probably about 3 or 4 drivers you can still in contention to win this one tonight. Has the speed to do it, but Calvin Smith just staying on the outside lane, just trying to get to the race lead of Rusty Rafferty. Not really trying to save the tires right now. He just wants the track position. He's had a good run off of turn number 2. Going to go down to the 3. Rafferty will stand at the bottom of the racetrack. Smith will stand to the top lane, going to try and cut to the inside. He's at the cross through the way, but Rafferty going to get to the wall of 4. That's going to allow Calvin Smith with a massive run down the first straightaway. He'll take to the outside lane, side by side, but lead as they into 3 as they into 1 as they race for the lead. 26 laps to go. Rafferty clears from the bottom, but not enough. Smith will fight back to the top lane. Still barely there. Door to door down to the turn number 3. Can Smith hold on? Not enough on the top lane. Rafferty trying to slide him in front and clear on the 4. He will, but he's going to really almost lose the back into the race car. Smith will still fight back to the top lane. Not enough to run those. The run stalls out into 1 as Rafferty will hold the lead. He will clear into 1 and 2. Smith though use the outside lane momentum again and try and fight back, but how much life left does he have in those tires? You have to expect ripping that outside lane for that long is going to definitely put some heat in the tires. It's going to make it much harder to make another attack in this for the race lead. But Rafferty starting to pull away now, out to a 3/10 of a second lead. It looks like Smith's just starting to struggle now. Cordosi fights in 3rd. He's trying to chase him down, but his speed is also stalled out. Jason Bottoms on the older tires. He still sits solidly in 4th. Gets up the caution. Still has an opportunity to maybe take 2 tires here. Could I have an opportunity for that as well? These 2 tires will definitely, no doubt, be the call. If we get a late race yellow here, it'll easily be the best call, in my opinion. Jason Bottoms fights on for 4th. So you have a battle back here for just outside the top 10. Just inside the top 10 here for Dan Barone. Everyone's about a tenth or so from each other. Derek Riley is trying to get by Jason Bottoms. No really side by side as of yet. But everyone got a couple tenths between each other throughout the field so far. We have a caution out of the racetrack here with 22 to go. And it looks like, I'm not sure who it was. We're trying to find out who that was. I wonder if it was Cody Pruitt. Oh, no, it was not Cody Pruitt. Oh, it was Brandon Wingard and possibly coming off of pit road. Just kept it straight as well. Didn't see anyone lose any positions. Didn't see anyone lose any positions. So I wonder, trying to find out who that may have been. Was it Brandon Cucks out to possibly. Trying to find out who the caution was there. Around this pack here with David Wells, there were a lot of drivers there. Oh, it was Austin Norris. There it is. There's the caution. Austin Norris. He caught up another one there. Unfortunate incident. Wrecked twice in a row now, and man came down a little bit of contact. That ends up making a little bit of contact. We made contact with there. I think it was the 24. So it looks like it just makes a little bit of contact. It's 14. Oh, sorry. It's 14 of Scott Kerber. So it looks like Kerber fights on the bottom, just tries to stick to the inside there. Norris tries to pinch him down, and just they both make a little bit of contact. And Austin Norris gets spun around. But now this shakes up. This is the big strategy here. Calvin Smith, he'll stay out. Everyone else will come down pit road. Scott Kerber will also stay out. But now, does anyone take 2 tires? Is the 2-tire call? Does anyone make that? Anyone make that call? Is everyone going to take 4 here? I think 2 tires, from my experience in racing, is usually 2 tires with the call of this next gen car, but it looks like everyone might take 4 here. Dorian Hamilton, though, a little off quicker though. And Dorian Hamilton, he used the driver to elect to take 2 tires. Everyone else will take 4. So Cody Dorsey will be the race leader as we come off of pit road. Rusty Rafferty, Derek Riley, Jason Holmes, just not a good stop, not getting into the box. But Calvin Smith, Scott Kerber, and Stephen Horner all stay out on the racetrack. So we'll see if Calvin Smith, he's had the speed tonight. He's been up front all night long. Now can he hold on here late with 20 to go? He's got about 15 lap old tires. That's okay, as usually here at Charlotte, you don't really see tire wear until after 15 laps. So see, probably about 5 of those have been under caution, so still a long way to go, but we'll see if the 2-tire call works out for Dorian Hamilton. Now, going into the night, we only had 2 different winners in the season. We're looking at one now, the most winning of Cameron Gilmore. Looks like he made a little bit of damage. He's had to fix a lot of damage. He's stuck in the back here at 16th. He's been caught up in multiple incidents tonight. It's really unfortunate for Cameron Gilmore. He's looking to try and make it number 4, but he's going to have to work his way from the back. Here, his car doesn't look too badly damaged anymore, but wonder if maybe that toe's bent a little bit. I mean, it looks like that left front is bent up a little bit, as you kind of see it. The other winner so far this season was the race Cameron Gilmore did not run. It was Cody Dorsey. So Cody Dorsey looking for his 2nd win of the season. Everybody else looking for their 1st of the season. Calvin Smith looking for his 1st of his Quantum Cup Contender Series career. Same with Scott Kerber, Stephen Horner, Dorian Hamilton, all those drivers. Dorian Hamilton, though, he was strong last week at Belle Isle. Just lost it, just made a mistake with 3 to go. It cost him the win. And then at New Hampshire, he was easily the most dominant car in New Hampshire, but a fatal pit road mistake. That final green flag stop costing him that. So Dorian Hamilton now, first driver on 2 tires, on fresh tires, looking to try to steal this one away. But Calvin Smith, Scott Kerber, and Stephen Horner all staying out on the older tires. Green flag back in the air with 18 to go. And Calvin's with a great launch over the rest of the field, as Stephen Horner and Scott Kerber, not a good launch, going to hold up the rest of the field, as Calvin Smith clear by half a second before they even get to the turn number 1. Dorsey, though, fights on the bottom. He's going to stay side by side with Scott Kerber. He tries to get to the outside of Stephen Horner here off of turn number 2. Not even going to happen, though. Everyone scattering for position here off of turn number 2. Looks like Rusty Rafferty gets to the outside wall. Daniel Jackson as well. Jason Bobs as well, as calamity happens off of turn number 4. 3 wide, almost 4 down the front straightaway. Dorian Hamilton on 2 tires. He's trying to get by Scott Kerber for 2nd. Is it 3 wide behind him? as there's 3 wide for third. Jason Bottoms fights on the inside lane. He's going to force Cody Dorsey up. He tries to look 4 wide for the second, but it's not going to be enough. They stay 3 wide as Hamilton clears for second, but now he's going to fall. Bottom's going to fall back a little bit behind Scott Kerber, and it's going to be Cody Dorsey will slide back into third. They still stay 3 wide for that 4th place spot as Kerber on the outer tire desperately tries to fight for as much as he can. Doesn't want to lose as many spots as possible. Dorian Hamilton now 0.8 of a second behind the race leader of Calvin Smith, sort of chasing down the fresher tires. Same with Cody Dorsey and Jason Bottoms. To be honest, these drivers need to try and work together to try and chase down the race leader Calvin Smith on the fresher tires. But Clean Air, I think, is going to be king here late in this one with 15 laps to go. Jason Bottoms man tags the outside wall just a little bit. Cole Lewis looking strong as well. He jumps up into the top 5 after that cycle. Joshua Smith, he was good earlier in this race. He's looking in 6th. He's probably in earlier. He's trying to chase back, drive his way back into the racing as well. Multiple drivers we've seen up all night long tonight. We've seen multiple covers and goers, but who can close it out here tonight? Calvin Smith, half a second in the lead on the older tires. Dorian Hamilton closing the gap. Last time by was 0.3 of a second faster. He's got Cody Dorsey and Jason Bottoms on his back bumper though, but he's starting to pull away a little bit now as now Cole Lewis works to the outside of Jason Bottoms. Cole Lewis though working the outside lane off of turn number 2. He will clear in front of Jason Bottoms. He will take that 4th place spot away. Now Dorian Hamilton will fight back for second as now fight back in second as he's now 0.3 of a second back, but only about 2 tenths faster. Looks like it's the wall though a little bit. That's going to cost him some time. Now Cody Dorsey wants to take advantage. He has to take advantage. He can't sit around anymore. He's going to go around the outside here. Dorian Hamilton going to try and fight the outside lane. Go side by side off of turn number 2. He should have had help from Cole Lewis down the back straightaway. Dorian Hamilton, no help on the bottom. He's not able to stick to the inside here. Going to have to try and drive into the 3 if he wants to have a shot at this. He's going to stay almost side by side. Not enough though. He will be cleared by Cody Dorsey for that 2nd place spot. So Cody Dorsey now on the 4 fresh tires. It is now his job to try and chase down Calvin Smith for the win. And Cody Dorsey looking for his 2nd win on the season. Should have to do a lot of chasing here now with 12 to go. He's got 0.3 to do it, but he's going to have to fight his way through the dirty air. They fight behind him as now Joshua Smith will clear Jason Bottoms to that 5th place spot. But Cole Lewis and Dorian Hamilton fight for 3rd as Cole Lewis on the outside lane. He should have cleared Hamilton for that 4th place spot. Not enough though. They still fight for 3rd. Side by side here. Cody Dorsey 2.5 tenths back now. He's slowly closing the gap. Last time by was 8.74 for Calvin Smith, 29.874 for Calvin Smith, and 29.843 for Cody Dorsey. So just slightly faster, about a half a tenth. You see those tires are pretty much even out. But it's going to be every last margin you can get here to try and steal this win away. Cole Lewis will jump up to 3rd. He's got an opportunity with Cody Dorsey and Calvin Smith if we get together. Cody Dorsey fighting the bottom here with 10 to go, trying to find some clean air, trying to get every ounce of clean air on the nose he can. But Calvin Smith defending it perfectly, running high enough into the corners, getting a big enough arc to where Cody Dorsey really can't take it to the outside lane without having to really back up his corner a lot. Just gonna have to focus on just trying to maintain that exit off the corner. 9 to go now. This Cody Dorsey, does he have anything? Calvin Smith goes to the outside wall, but he gets into the wall! Calvin Smith gets to the wall for the race lead. That's going to allow Cody Dorsey to fight on the bottom. Cody Dorsey with the opportunity. Side by side to the back straight up for the lead. Can he pull the slider into turn number 3? Calvin Smith, a crucial mistake on the outside, getting into the outside wall in 1 and 2. Cody Dorsey goes a fight back to the bottom. Can he clear up all 4? No, he won't, but Smith will get the wall. He has the ball. He still manages the momentum. Side by side for lead. 8 to go here from Charlotte. Cole Lewis sits behind, waiting in the wings, trying to make an opportunity. Calvin Smith fights on the outside lane, able to make it happen. Cole Lewis, where does he go? Where does he decide to make his move? He's going to sit behind both of them for now. Cody Dorsey still fights on the bottom here. This time by only 7 laps to go. And now these two pretty much being a roadblock for the rest of the field as Joshua Smith, he's fighting, trying to get the 4th in front of Jason Bottoms. But Cody Dorsey loses the momentum on the bottom. Calvin Smith will clear for the lead. Cody Dorsey tries to fight back to the bottom, but he's got Cole Lewis to his outside. He's got to shut the door. Cole Lewis, he wants to have a shot, he will. Calvin Smith almost, that mistake he wanted to, getting into the outside wall, almost cost him the win. Okay, Cody Dorsey, can he chase him back down? But Cole Lewis not going to make it easy. He's trying to get to the outside lane. He wants to try and take the win for himself. With 6 laps to go, these drivers just fighting for everything they can, and Calvin Smith just driving away now. He's got the clean air. Cody Dorsey can't make anything work on the top lane as he's just stuck in the dirty air up there. He's going to go to the top here in 3 and 4. Calvin Smith just needs to try and stay mistake clean now. He cannot afford another mistake like he did a few laps ago. He was luckily able to rebound from it. 5 to go now. Cody Dorsey, does he have an opportunity? 0.2 of a second is the gap. I don't think he's going to keep trying to fight on the bottom, but it's going to be hard, really hard to do it. But he's got a better run. Calvin Smith looks like he got a little bit tight on the top lane. Cody Dorsey will fight to the bottom here. 5 to go. Down the back straightaway, side by side, I believe again in the 3. Dorsey will fight to the bottom. Smith will fight to the top lane. He's going to get to the outside wall again. Brandon Cuxhauser goes around just behind him. He will stay off the racing surface. He will stay into the grass, but that could be a caution if he comes back up to the racetrack. They fight side by side for the lead. Can Dorsey, can he shut the door off the exit? Yes, he will. Cody Dorsey clears for the lead off of turn number 2 with 4 to go. But Calvin Smith, he's got the run. Does he dive back into 3? Yes, he will. He's going to try and throw the slider. He drives it deep into 3 and 4. Can't clear in front of Dorsey. They'll stay side by side for the lead with 3 to go off of turn number 4. 3 laps to go. Down the front straightaway in the 1 and 2. Dorsey trying to fight on the top lane. He's got the preferred lane now. Calvin Smith with roller tires trying to fight on the bottom. How much longer can he hold on? He's going to throw it on for 3 more laps, but he doesn't have the preferred lane. He does not have the advantage anymore. He's going to have to try and pull a slider. Cole Lewis, he's trying to make an opportunity as well, but Jason Bottoms fights for 4th. He's trying to fight to the bottom as well. All 4 of these drivers have an opportunity to steal this one away. Cody Dorsey with the nose out in front. 2 to go. 3 miles left here from Charlotte. As side by side in 1 and 2 once again. Cody Dorsey fights on the top lane, looking for his 2nd win of the season. Calvin Smith looking for his 1st win of his Quantum Contender Series career. Side by side on the back straightaway. Into 3 and 4 for the ultimate time. Can Smith, can he clear? Can Dorsey clear? But they're still going to be dead even off of turn number 4. Off of turn number 4. 1 lap to go here from Charlotte. Who will take it? They're still side by side into 1 for the final time. Can Dorsey hold the outside? Can Smith, can he clear off of 2? Dorsey looks a little tight on the outside lane off of turn number 2. Smith not even the clear. Dead heat down the back straight over the final time. Does Lewis, does he have anything? Does he make a dive bomb moving to 3 and 4? Not going to be able to do it. Smith on the bottom. Dorsey on the top lane. This is going to be a drag race off of turn number 4. Can Smith though, can he clear? Yes, he will. Calvin Smith with the final corner move. He is going to win at Charlotte, and Calvin Smith will win his 1st race of his career and the season. What a win for Calvin Smith. On the older tires, he holds off a charging Cody Dorsey. Just able to hold on. What a drive there late. As he will burn it down here in the grass. It becomes our 3rd different winner on the season. He tries to burn it down, but Calvin Smith, he will celebrate this one. We're going to take a quick break. We'll be right back here from Charlotte.
Here at KK Woodscapes, we only work with the finest woods, the finest tools. We sand the wood here at KK Woodscapes. We stir the paint with a wooden stick here at KK Woodscapes. And then we brush the wood with a wooden brush here at KK Woodscapes. And when it's all said and done, we have these perfectly manicured nails. Put the plaques in the trophies, in the envelopes, ship them to your box, and on your way to you to commemorate your special day. Got wood, KK Woodscapes.
Welcome back here to Charlotte as we just wrapped up a dramatic finish here from Charlotte for tonight's Levi Newton Memorial Race here for the race number 5 of the Quantum Contender Series season 2. Before we get to our poster issues real quick, let's take a look at tonight's results here for tonight's Levi Newton Memorial Race here from Charlotte, as it was Calvin Smith able to take the win over Cole Lewis, able to hold on to able to steal second away from Cody Dorsey there at the line. Cody Dorsey will hold on to third. Jason Bottoms finishing fourth tonight. Joshua Smith will finish fifth. Cameron Gilmore rounds to the top 6. A great recovery after being caught up in many incidents tonight. Still 3 wins on the season. He'll still finish 6th tonight. Dorian Hamilton will finish 7th tonight. Robert will 8th. Dan Barone 9th. And Dakota Bly rounds out our top 10 here tonight. Finishing 11th is the 14th of Scott Kerber. Daniel Jackson finishing 12th. Stephen Horner in 13th. Austin Norris in 14th. Brandon Van Wingert in 15th. Brady Cuxhausen in 16th. Trenton Besgrove in 17th, David Wells in 18th, Cody Pruitt in 19th, and around here our top 20 is the 34 of Rusty Rafferty. Derek Riley finishing 21st, Dan Stockaro finishing 22nd, Brandon Newton finishing 23rd here tonight, and Kyle Schmitz finishing in 24th. Before we get to our post-race interviews here tonight, we do want to bring in the father of our child that tragically passed away this past week. Brandon Newton, welcome in to the booth as tonight every driver, and we've all celebrated the life of your son here tonight, Levi Newton. So it's just you just want to say whatever you need to say here tonight. But we're all raced in memorial of your son here tonight, and just thankful you were able to join us here tonight, and just try to sorry for your loss here tonight.
I greatly appreciate it, man, and I'm so glad that we had the support and the prayers, from everybody. And hey, he was happy. There was no doubt. He loved four-wheeler rides and stuff like that, but I'm just glad for the prayers and support from everybody.
Yeah, and just it's amazing when the community comes together, and it's just a really cool cause that is just happy. He lived a great life, but just happy you can join us here tonight, and again here at Ella Red, and just everyone watching, everyone in the league. We're all prayers and support for you tonight. So just once again, congrats on tonight's race, and sorry for your loss once again.
I greatly appreciate it, buddy, and like I said, I just thank everybody for everything. I mean, it's been unreal, the support and love that we've had. But we can't thank everybody enough.
And once again, congrats here from Charlotte for your race tonight, and we'll see you next week. See you next week.
Don't worry, buddy. I appreciate it.
So that was our 23rd place finisher tonight of Brandon Newton and his son. We were racing in memoriam of his son here tonight, tragically passing away from brain cancer just over this past week. So everyone, we'll send our thoughts and prayers out to the Brandon Newton and his family in this time. But now we'll bring in our race winner here of Calvin Smith, as Calvin Smith once had a yellow there with about 20 laps to go. And Calvin Smith made the call to stay out on the older tires there, and you had to fight hard in those last 10 or so laps. How are you able to do it and able to pick up this race win here tonight?
Well, firstly, I want to thank CK Graphics for the nice wrap, and my wife for allowing me to do this. I was worried. I figured everybody was going to do the opposite that I did. But I figured clean air is a little bit better than tires at that state. I only had a couple laps on them. Just focus on a good restart. Hope the other guys can kind of hold them back a little bit, and then I could hopefully carry it away. It got pretty close there at the end.
Yeah, it was definitely close. You and Cody Dorsey were side by side pretty much the entire last 5 to 10 laps there. Just kind of what was going through your head. How are you able to just kind of fight off there late? And just what do you think? How tough was it to really pass out there tonight? And how did that affect your decision there late, staying out?
Yeah, I've had this is my third race. I've missed 2 weeks, and I've had some small little mental mistakes. Like at Indy, I bent a toe arm, um, and then I got up into the wall my last race. So I was just really just hitting my marks. I noticed I was better on the high line in clean air, and Cody was definitely catching me on the bottom. So I just took his line away, tried to block him a little bit with the air. It seemed to work pretty well. Because clean air was everything, man. You'd be 3-4 tenths faster than the guy in front of you, and you couldn't go anywhere if he got the same line as you. So it was just an air game.
Yeah, but you're still able to come out on top, able to get the move done off of 4, come into the line. But before you send off far and away, any sponsor thing for tonight's race win?
Yeah, I'd like to think the series they do an incredible job. They do a really good job at everything, and I like how it's ran. Seems really nice and friendly. I also want to throw a shout out to Levi with the memorial race. My prayers with their family. It's goes out to them. I hope they make it through strong. We're all here for them if they ever need anything. That's about it.
And once again, congrats on the race win here tonight. We'll see you next week.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
So the Calvin Smith, our race winner here tonight, and now we'll turn our attention towards our second place finisher here tonight of Cody Dorsey. Cody Dorsey coming up from third last week at Belle Isle tonight. Actually a third place finisher. We'll jump around. We'll jump around a little bit, but you finished third here tonight, so you pick up another third place finish here tonight. I just thought you finished second because you were sitting around battling throughout that entire last 5 to 10 laps. So can I just walk us through those last 5 to 10 laps? What do you think could have there? Maybe try to steal that race one away from Calvin there.
I needed the bottom in 1 and 2. I didn't run the top pretty much at all tonight. So whenever he got that crazy run out of 1 and 2, I think it was like 5 or so to go when we started getting side by side, and he got the bottom. I knew he was going to get me eventually, but I didn't think I'd be able to hang beside him. But I mean, it was great racing. I mean, you can't ask for much more better, fun, clean racing. I mean, we both never got into each other or nothing, and that was fun. And then Cole, I thought Cole was going to come in there and steal it from us because I mean he was ripping 3 and 4, and he had a hell of a run. So yeah, like I said, it was just super fun running with Calvin and Cole up front there, and yeah, it was a blast. I'm sweating. I mean, I had to work for it. I'll have to go back and see what your type of call was on that race.
Yeah, it was definitely fun. You had me out of breath out here in the booth. I had to take a minute during that break to kind of get my breath back. But you still pick up a very solid another third place finish there. You're just fighting all night long for trying to fighting through that final run there. But tonight's another third place finish. You already have a win on the season, so just kind of how does that build that momentum going into the rest of the season so far? As we're still very early on though.
It's good. It keeps the momentum. You know, I think it keeps me in the points lead for the regular season championship thing. Because those bonus points could come crucial when the playoffs start. So, but yeah, it's just we got a long season in front of us. I mean, we got Iowa next week, so we'll see how that goes. It will be I think Iowa's a little bit different since the last time we ran there. So, but like I said, it's good momentum. It's definitely a good stepping stone to continue on because I don't think I was a top 3 car tonight. I think I was more like 5 to 7, somewhere in there. So I'll definitely take a third place finish.
Yeah, and once again, congrats tonight on your third place finish here tonight. Before you send off on any sponsor thing for tonight's third place run?
Of course, I want to thank you, Aaron, for what you do up in the booth and stuff, buddy. You do a great job, and like I said, can't wait to rewatch it and see how the call was. Firstly, I just want to thank thoughts and prayers again for Brandon. I know you had him up in here and stuff. I appreciate him and his family allowing us to make this the Levi Newton Memorial Race. It's the least that we could do for a league, for his family. They are Brandon's been a great guy ever since he joined the league. Really good guy, and like I said, it's the least we can do for them, for his family and such. But yeah, I just want to thank Quantum for what they do. Burlington Cafe for being our presenting sponsor. Really appreciate them. Had them on the car tonight. It was good to give them a good finish. And Kevin Kyle at KK Woodscapes. Really appreciate him. And for once, I want to thank Dakota Bly for my paint schemes. I forget him, and I need to make sure I got him this time. So thank him too. And again, thank you, Aaron.
Once again, congrats tonight on your third place finish. We'll see you next week at Iowa.
All right, thank you, Aaron.
So that was our third place finisher tonight of Cody Dorsey. Now we'll jump back to our second place finisher tonight here of Cole Lewis. So now Cole Lewis, our second place finisher here tonight. We jumped around a little bit through those interviews there. But tonight you're able to pick up a very solid second place finish there. You're kind of sitting right behind Cody Dorsey and Calvin Smith that entire final run. You're able to pick up Cody Dorsey right there at the finish. What do you think could have done differently there late to maybe try and steal the win away?
I don't know. I was just happy to bring it home in one piece, and just want to give 1 minute of silence for Brandon Newton and his family with the passing of his son.
Thanks everybody for joining that moment of silence for Levi Newton and Brandon Newton's son who tragically passed away. Once again, just reminding everybody, we raced in Memorial here tonight. So just how does that kind of also play into the factor tonight as well? Just everyone racing for Memorials here tonight, and it's definitely a good race you guys put on out there tonight as well.
Thanks.
So, Cole, how is that second place finish here tonight? You're at a drive, you're battling all the way out there through that second place, through that last run there. What do you think you could have done differently there, maybe late, to try and maybe take that race one away?
I don't know. I got used to running the high line there, and I think the only thing that was really left in my playbook was to have Cody and Calvin get into it and just back into a win. They fought hard, and I just wanted to keep a clean race with them, and wanted to see how it was going to play out.
And it was definitely tough to pass out there tonight. We saw multiple drivers sort of struggle to get by there. You still sat right behind there, able to still pick off Cody Dorsey there. But just kind of just talk us right behind, definitely side by side right in front of you, pretty much that whole run. Just kind of how did that affect the car with the dirty air and the handling of the race car?
With these next gens, they don't like to be behind another car, so I had to try and find a little bit of clean air to get on the nose and try and get on a run, but just couldn't amount to it.
Yeah, but you're still able to pick up a very solid second place finish here tonight. Before it's enough fun to make any sponsored link for tonight's second place run.
I would like to thank all the league sponsors: Quantum, KK Woodscapes, Stud Hub, Admin Box, and Mac and Sunflower Seeds.
Once again, congrats on your second place finish here tonight. We'll see you next week at Iowa.
Thanks.
So that was Cole Lewis, our second place finisher here tonight. And now that will wrap us up here from Charlotte, as it was definitely a fun one here tonight. A chaotic finish. You're side by side finish to that final entire 5 laps there, but it was able to be Calvin Smith able to take the race win away. Before we sign off here tonight here from Charlotte, let's coming up next here on the Legends Racing Network. Tomorrow night we'll have the Inter Cup Series at Bristol at 9 o'clock Eastern time on tomorrow night. And on Wednesday night we'll have the Superstar Arca West back at Legacy Atlanta at 8 p.m. Eastern time on Wednesday night. And next week we'll have the Quantum Contender Series back at Iowa 8:50 p.m. Eastern Time. So, you know, next week. So this would be a fun one next from Iowa. Last time I went to Iowa was the old pavement, not updated. So now, next week, we'll have a much newer Iowa to kind of race on new different pavements. So that's going to shake up a lot of different strategy going into next week. But it'll definitely be a fun one. Thank you everybody for joining us here tonight here from Charlotte. We'll see you next time. You're the Legends Racing Network. So long here from Charlotte.